Well, hi guys, welcome back to the channel. My name's Mark from Mr. Music Marbella, and you're tuned into the Rekordbox DJ. Right, on this episode, one or two guys have been asking me what kit I actually use. So I'm going to do a little bit of a video of the different controllers that I use, software that I use for the different types of events and gigs that I do. We're only doing controllers today, computers and software. At a later video I'm going to show you the PA that I use and the lighting setups. So let's jump straight into the video. Right guys, this is one of my very basic setup that I use when I'm just doing karaoke. As you can see, I've got it on a stand there. I actually use an X stand normally with a little wrap around shroud around it. In fact, something very similar to that. It's just a wrap around. It's actually a flag that sort of wrap around Velcro to the front of it. You can get this in just about any space, and I think you've seen a video with me in a bar called Pals. I'm wedged into the corner. That is my usual Wednesday night gig, and I'm wedged into a corner, and it's basically the space of a small table. So the great thing about this, very quick setup. It is actually the mixer that I'm using in a case is the Mackie Pro FX8, the version 2. And I also use this as a backup. I also use it when I'm doing events, when I've got I'm supplying the PA for, such as you know, live artists, things like that. Sometimes there's a few people want to plug into it, so it's got quite a few inputs as this one. 4 stereo channels, 4 mic channels as well. So it's a great little mixer, and I run it there, as you can see with this. I run it with Virtual DJ. Normally when I'm doing karaoke and karaoke discos, I use Virtual DJ. I am a Infinity member, so I bought the software many years ago. Great kit, as you well know. Running always with a Mackbook Pro. I know there's a debate whether Macs, whether PCs. I used PCs for years. I always had problems. When I flipped over to Macs, never had problems. So you know, you can be that as it was. I know there's some really good PCs out there, but I'd never go the other way. And I control that with a tiny little controller from Newmark, which is a the DG2GO2. And it just gives you that little bit of extra flexibility. Yes, you can do a karaoke just with a laptop, but we all like buttons and knobs and what have you to press, and that really gives you a little bit of a little bit more flexibility. You can actually DJ with it. You can't really scratch, you can't do that sort of thing, but for what we do, no problem at all. Going to the microphone side, for the clients, it is a bomb-proof, as you can see. The Sennheiser, I think it's an 835 capsule, but it's a Sennheiser EW100. Bomb-proof. Had that for about 1,000,000 years. Had it for years and years. And what I forgot to do, I did a gig last night, and as you can see there, where is it? I've left the bloody thing turned on, so I'm always doing that and running out my batteries. That is one of the main problems. Couple of little additions that I add to just about all my rigs is this. This is a gooseneck from Gravity, and as you can see, it's a gooseneck stand purely and simply for my own microphone. I always use Shure 58s, SM58s, and it just saves me setting up another microphone stand. It's great. It folds enough. It's about 600mm long, so little sort of clamp there. I unscrew it, there you go, and it's always there for you. So another little addition. I use that on all my rigs. And then another little addition since I've started with YouTube is a similar sort of thing. It's from Gravity, and it's specific for, it's got a little camera attachment on the top, and there I've got a, I think it's the small rig little ball, and a little clamp, phone clamp there. You can unscrew that and put it onto your normal camera on there as well. So it's a great thing about that is you can just point it where you want. It's out of the way. People don't really notice it, and that really does get me away pretty much every single karaoke gig. I don't use it when I'm DJing as such, but just for karaoke, fantastic. Right then guys, this is my main go-to setup. This is the DDJ SX2 from Pioneer. I had this controller pretty much since it first came out. I had the SX before that. Upgraded to the SX2. I actually bought a second-hand SX. This one I bought new. Traded it in, got the SX2. It is a fabulous bit of kit. Used it on numerous gigs. But this is my main go-to setup, whether I'm doing disco stroke karaoke, or if I'm doing a disco gig where they're going to need some microphones, they're going to need speakers, that sort of thing. When I do it for disco karaoke, as usual, I'm running there my Mackbook Pro with Virtual DJ 2018. I also run that into a little Yamaha mixer, which is, let's get the microphone out of the way, that's the, as you can see there, that's the MG10XU. The reason that I've got that one is I can leave it actually in the box. I spin it round, put the box lid back on top, or the case lid back on top, and it's all together. So it's just a matter of when I get to the gig. As you know, it's not how quick we can set up, it's how quick we can strip down and get out of the place. So that's it. It's a great little mixer. It is supposed to be a 10 channel mixer. It's not. It's like 3 mono mic channels, and it's got 3 stereo channels, but and it's USB in as well, so if you want to connect it to your laptop that way. But great, as usual, another one there, and I have separate ones for each, so they're in each box. That is the gooseneck from Gravity, and as you can see there, and as always, I don't have a spare one of these. The gooseneck for the camera, I just leave that in my laptop bag. And right underneath there, for the karaoke's, as you can see there, I've got 2, if it comes into focus, 2 of the JB Systems WR10 microphone receivers, which are just there, and the transceiver is WMIC10. These are okay, you know, they're a half decent microphone. Use them. I've had these quite a few years. I've had them 2 or 3 years now, and done hundreds of gigs with them. So they are holding up. The sound's not fantastic, I've got to say. They're not the best sounding microphone. They are a vocal microphone. They're about 160 quid a piece, but they've held up for a couple of years, so I'm quite happy with them. I do use the Sennheisers on my first setup, have you seen. If I've got some more serious audio, serious singing, I generally use the Sennheiser. For this one, it's more disco orientated when I do the disco karaoke, so we're doing a lot of disco and then firing a bit of karaoke as well, which does spoil the flow, should I say. But that is setup number 2. My main go-to setup, controller wise. Right then guys, this is my main event setup. I never use this for karaoke, it's very much overkill for that. So I generally use this when I'm doing the main events, i.e. one-off events, weddings, birthday parties, corporate stuff, that sort of event. The DDJ 1000 from Pioneer, it is an absolute beast of a controller. Very similar to 2000 Nexus sort of setup with a DJM 900 mixer in the middle. You've got your pads, just like on any controller, so slightly a little bit better than the CDJs, to be quite honest. Always run it with my Mackbook Pro and with the Rekordbox software. Now that is another video that I'd like to do. a little bit later. Now the next video will be about software. What software do you use? What do you prefer? We all start off with Virtual DJ, and we still all use Virtual DJ, but you know, not everything or every software is for every event. So you know, we'll talk about that in another video. And I always have a backup. This is my sort of go-to backup. It is also my little setup that I'll use for ceremonies. So it's just a little Wego 3 controller with my iPad running DJ. The DJ, I've got DJ Pro. It's a good bit of kit. In fact, it's fabulous. It is a really good software, and we can talk about that in a future video. Normally, when I've got this kit, I have got that stood at the side of it. So although the mixer on the Pioneer DG2GO2 is much better than on the SX2, and I'm meaning from the mic preamps. The mic preamps on the SX2, they're crap, and they are actually, you have to take up a channel, either channel 3 and 4. You have to take up those channels for your mics. On this one, on the DG2GO2, you have got dedicated, coming down here, you've got mic 1 and mic 2, which are dedicated mic inputs. You don't have to take up your individual channels for that, and the preamps on that are much better. So I generally run my announcement mic, which again is on this gooseneck from Gravity. I generally run that into the mic 1 of the mixer on the DG2GO2. Then I run out of that normally into a separate mixer, but when I'm actually plugging in my backup, which is the Wego controller, I run that, rather than run it into the mixer or the I can put it in line in, because you've got so many different connections in the back of this. Yeah, I can run line in from there into this mixer. I don't generally do that. For backup, I'll run it straight into this mixer. So therefore what you've got is the worst case scenario. If this computer goes down and this controller goes down, I'm straight onto there. From this and away to the speakers. And we'll discuss that at the end of this video. They are the controllers that I use from a day-to-day basis. I've got one or two of the little controllers. I'll bring them out some other time. We touched there on backups. Backups. What do you normally use for your backup systems? You know, don't get me wrong. I don't always take a backup when I'm doing karaoke using this little setup. Not a problem. Not a problem. You're in a bar, you're in a pub. Similar when I'm using the SX2 when I'm doing a karaoke disco. That's normally it'll be in a bar, it'll be in a pub, or a little club that we've got, clubs that we've got down here on the Costa del Sol. Worst case scenario, something stops you, your computer stops or anything, it's not the end of the world. You can get round it, and certainly when you're in a bar, you know everybody, some little glitch, and if you're down for your 30 seconds or whatever, it's not a problem. The problem is one-off events, and the most important one-off events, as you well know guys, weddings. Now, you don't get a second chance at a first dance. And I found that the hard way many years ago, and I'm not going to happen again. But what happens, I get things set up, and I normally have three. I have my main setup, I'll have a backup, and I'll have a backup. And normally what that is, the main setup, obviously we've talked about that is this one, the DJ1000 with my Mackbook Pro. Everything's hunky-dory. I've got all the playlists in that, and the first dance, your entrances, and all the rest of it everybody wants. However, you set that up, you press play, you've got all the crowd and the rest of the guys up on their feet. You've called the bride and groom to the dance floor for the most important dance of their life. You press play, nothing happens. It's not a problem, because what I've got, I press play on my computer, or I press play on my controller there. If nothing happens, I then press play on that controller, because that's already set up with the the first dance, and if not, I've got my iPhone normally plugged in on a spare, ready and set up. I normally do all my playlists through iTunes anyway, so everything's, you know, when I've set them, I've got their playlist and all the rest of it, it's all synced up, and I'm ready, so I can press play, 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 and then we've got sound. So I've never really got a problem. Let's face it, if your external or your secondary mixer goes down or speakers go down, then there's nothing you can do about that. But the likelihood of that happening are quite remote, because the normal problem, or any sort of problem you're going to get, is with your computer. Now, that's why I run a Mac. It's never happened to me. Touch wood, it's never happened, but it could do. It happened years ago, so it's never happened with a Mac. It happened years ago when I was running PCs, yeah, many years ago, they were rubbish PCs. You press play, it goes down. And then it was 5 minutes rebooting the laptop. Luckily the bride and groom were fantastic, they understood, but I'm never going to be in that situation again. So backups, maybe another discussion for a later date for that one, but just remember guys, when you one-off events, make sure you've got a backup. Right guys, that was it. That was the kit that I generally use on a day-to-day basis. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Oh, this is today's t-shirt. DJs don't retire, they just stop when there's no more music in them. And hopefully there's going to be a lot of music in me for quite a few years, all being well. Shout out to my friends on YouTube land, Vaping DJ over there in, I think it's Middlesbrough area, to the DJ Funky Mike, the Funky Mike Experience. Check out their channels, and of course JP, the Real Life DJ. Check out their channels. Great YouTubers. Hope you liked the video. Please, if you liked it, press that thumbs up. If you're new to the channel, you know, consider subscribing. It's free. You never know, you might enjoy it. Press the subscribe button. Do all that funky stuff, and hopefully we'll see you in the next video. See you soon.